Alright, what is going on, people of the internet, and welcome back to another episode of Ark Evolved Max Speed. Now, the most upvoted suggestion for this episode was a mix between the Reaper King Baby, which unfortunately does not get any movement speed at all, because of course you can't level them up until they've fully grown, and the Nameless, but when you force tame a Nameless, they will despawn. So we're going to go with the second most upvoted comment for the Max Speed Bulbdog. So there's a level 50 Megalosaurus. And there's a Bulldog that I'm sacrificing, right?
It isn't getting sacrificed.
It's not getting sacrificed. It's totally fine. Like the Megalosaurus thinks it's nipping at it, but he can't get it. Bulldog is OP. Confirmed. That confirms it. It's dead.
What's dead?
Megalosaurus is dead. Bulbdog killed it.
Oh my god, are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
What the?
Now there's even more of a reason to cultivate the Bulbdogs.
Dude, it killed it. I'm gonna leave, drop the Shinehorn off, come back and pick that Bulbdog up. It won its freedom. One of the nicest changes to the Aberration DLC is the introduction of the usefulness of shoulder pets, where on the island, center, or Ragnarok, having a shoulder tame contributes very little to your experience. Scorched Earth did a decent job of this by making the Jerboa warn you of impending storms. However, you could get kind of the same effect from coming across a wild Jerboa or having a bunch of tame Jerboas lying around your base, and having them on your shoulder didn't really add that much to your survival. On Aberration, though, these little guys will be absolutely critical to you surviving in more dangerous situations. There are 4 of them to choose from. The Bulbdog, which is found out in the surface and will probably be the first one that you go and tame because of the fact they're in very safe areas. Then there are the Shinehorns, which will spawn in the blue biome. Very rarely, and they're very hard to find, though. They are one of my favorites. Then there are the Glowtails, which are found in caves all around the map. If you follow up the river to one area near portals, there will be a little island. Behind there is a cave where you can go tame a ton of Glowtails. And then there's the Featherlights, which are my favorite, but they are tucked all the way at the very back of the radiation biome, surrounded by a million Reaper Queens and even more Rock Drakes, and they're horrible to go get, but I love them so much. All of them prefer plant species Z seeds, and then they take one of the 4 mushrooms that you'll find by picking these around the map. The Bulbdog, his favorite is the aquatic mushroom, followed up by cooked mutton. So if you ever wanted to tame one of these guys, it is a passive tame with one of those 3 things as their top 3 foods. Plant species Z seeds are gathered by standing beside a wild plant species Z and waiting until its flowers fold up, its tendril goes in, and then it spouts one out for you. You have to pick it up because sometimes they'll despawn. But they're basically just an easy passive tame, and you're going to get one of these. It's probably your first tame on this map because they're just so easy. So, I looked at the stats on the wiki, and the Bulbdog places 4th in range, 4th in regen, but 1st in capacity. So these guys are going to store up a lot of light, but they're not going to be very good at regenning it or outputting it in a large circle. As you can see, Max Speed Bulbdog is very quick. I would not recommend making a Max Speed Bulbdog, but if you chose to, because everybody has that one dinosaur that does something incredibly stupid, the Bulbdog would be great for it. One thing that they made with the shoulder pets in this game is that they changed it so that the stamina is no longer representative of the stamina because, of course, it's not rideable. Instead, that represents how much charge it can have, how much light it can store. So, as you see, the Bulbdog has 776 charge, which means it has 776 stamina. After that, the oxygen has been now changed to the regen, so how fast that thing is going to regen its charge after it has run out. And then the melee damage has been switched into the range. That's how big the circle that the light creates. So if you're trying to use one Bulbdog for a group of 5 people, you'd want to have a very high melee damage stat so that it would be able to output a greater variety of, or output a greater region of light, rather. As you can see, I've switched the Bulbdog over to shortest falling distance, and it's a bit too close for comfort. They're adorable in a very disgusting, ugly way, and if you've ever bred them, you realize that the babies are somehow even more hideous in this regard, but still, I do like Bulbdogs. They're not my favorite, but certainly a very interesting shoulder mount. Having them chase around a little glow bug is probably one of the most cute and innocent things I've ever seen in this game. It makes you forget about the rest of the horrors that await you on this map with giant snakes and chest-bursting face huggers. It just kind of looks like a dog running around the dog park chasing after butterflies, and that's sweet. It's so cute. They're pretty fast. I wouldn't recommend doing a max speed build for them at all, really. It's best to just kind of do a mix between leveling up their charge and their regen. And Bulldogs are certainly one of the best at leveling up their charge. I'm going to take it into the water now, and shockingly, but following the trend, it is incredibly fast in the water. The most famous video I've ever done was actually the level 1 million Dodo, which the results may have been skewed a little bit given that it had somewhere over 10,000 oxygen, but the Bulbdog really is fast for being only at 225 after taming. It's somewhat astounding that these stubby little legs will make it faster than Michael Phelps. At least this one would probably race a shark if you asked it to. I'm going to fly up here so that I can drop into the water so that we can get a better viewing of just how quick this Bulbdog is, switching to my radiation suit so that I could actually fly around with it because I have the wingsuit strapped onto the back of it. As I said, the Bulbdog is a very, very efficient swimmer for some reason. I have absolutely no idea why, but it's certainly going to be attracting mega piranhas to you. Another thing that the 4 glow pets of this region offer is the ability to notify you when a max level dinosaur is nearby, or when you're in the presence of an enemy player who's not from your tribe. You can turn these two things on and off in the wheel by just disabling them or enabling them, so that if you're in the presence of an enemy player, it will give you little red eyes in the bottom right of your screen, or it will tell you that there is a max level wild dino nearby. If you're trying to find one for taming, or trying to avoid one for fighting, this can be extremely useful to you. As you see here, the Bulbdog is incredibly fast at swimming, and I believe it's faster than if it was simply just running, which makes absolutely no sense to me, even still. But Ark is kind of weird with that. They make it so that a lot of things on your shoulder are just bizarrely fast in the water. So, to give you a bit of a frame of reference, the Bulbdog is easily capable of keeping up with a player when sprinting, and a glow bug, but they're not capable of taking on a wild parasaur. So don't expect too much. Still, I do not recommend going max speed build on this at one bit, but I think that these things are a really great addition to Aberration, and they made the map a lot more fun for me. I'm going to go ahead and huck it off into the water here. Notify it. Please run out into the middle of the ocean for me to go and show how fast you can swim. And it doesn't seem to be too excited at this because it's just going at a walking pace instead of running. As soon as it hits the water, it takes off like a bat out of hell and goes like nothing else is watching it. Anyway, that's probably going to be all I have to say about the Max Speed Bulbdog. It's kind of goofy, but I think that was what we were going for, and I have to say that it fulfilled that role perfectly. They're wonderful little creatures for your shoulder, and they're incredibly useful to your survival, which you would never expect when you saw them in the trailer. Working my way through that Reaper King video that I mentioned I would be doing. If you aren't already aware, it's going to be a video where I just kind of talk about everything that you need to go to get a Reaper Queen, or a Reaper King of your own, rather, in about 5 minutes or less. Not the actual event of taming, that's still going to take a relatively long time depending on how your server rates, but the video itself should be only about 5 minutes long. At least the part where I'm explaining the whole process. So, anyway, that's going to be it. If you have any suggestions for the next Max Speed video, please feel free to leave it in the comments. Anything that we've done already, except for the stuff we've done in Max Speed 2.0, can be suggested, because we have to go through and do all the normal creatures as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next episode of whatever we make. Peace!